Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm pretty sure I got the lighting spot on tonight. I think. Yeah, I've kept the background dark, but I think I've lit this pretty well. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Really interested on that. Tonight's topic is a really good one. The idea to talk about this one tonight sparked from a interview I was doing earlier with someone, and I'm hoping they're watching because part of this is from we're talking with them earlier, but some of the other indicators that I'm putting on here tonight are from the actual coding interview course I did a couple of months back now. So let's jump on into this one. This one's great because it's the 4 interview warning indicators that you should be looking out for if you notice them. Now, there's more, but tonight let's keep it short, concise, and let's talk about these 4. And this all stems from the question of, have you ever failed an interview wondering what did they see that you didn't? Or is there a way to catch myself before I mess up? And to answer both of those, yes, there is something, and we're going to show you tonight. And yes, you can catch yourself before. So let's chat about this. Let's chat about the first one. I'm going to start with this indicator because it comes straight from the course, and it was an absolutely great one. And this is the over or under talking indicator. And this is feeling like a freight. You feel like a freight train. The idea of you being a train is you want to start the question and stop at the next train station. That's the ideal analogy that we want for you. And when we talk about over talking, you blow right through the train station onto the other side that's past acceptable and now is like that's a long-winded answer. And you have the other analogy of under talking where you are felt extremely short of the platform and you can't even get off at the station now. So within over talking and under talking, the warning indicators, these can show up. You can notice the warning indicator for under talking if you answer any questions that aren't just a yes or no response. If you answer any questions under 1 to 2 sentences and you feel awkward, like you should have known more, that's one of the best indicators, is just that you only give a very small answer and now you feel a tiny bit of pressure. That is a great indicator that you have under talked. Now on the other side, over talking. Sometimes people will talk, right? And it's easy to say, oh, if you just keep talking, you feel the pressure. On that one, maybe not so much. People are more tuned to feeling the pressure for under talking than they are over talking. Over talking, on any given answer, if you are talking more than 4 to 8 sentences, you need to watch out because more than likely you are about to be a runaway train. I have an answer format that I'm going to teach one of these days on one of these videos, but I'm going to leave it at this. For each point you give, you shouldn't be giving more than 2 to 4 sentences. And so on any given question, I expect potentially at least 2 points. And if we give you 4 sentences on each, we're talking 8. If you are crossing the threshold of 8, you better have multiple points you want to cover. Otherwise, you're about to start over talking. So under talking 1 to 2 sentences, over talking 8 sentences. Those are going to be your indicators and your parameters to notice on that warning sign. And you can feel pressure on both, or the social awkwardness potentially might come through, but that's where some people go wrong and they don't feel that, or they just don't notice that, and that's okay. Pay attention to your sentence count and your point count. If you're given more points, you can have more sentences. If you're not, watch out. You can't give as in depth unless there's other points. And I'll get more into that in another video, but that's as general like we for now without we're making a 50-minute video here. The second warning indicator, all right? This one is going to be when you jump in too fast and you go down a rabbit hole, all right? The indicator is when you start thinking to yourself, I shouldn't have done it that way, or is there a better way to do this? Or you start rethinking what you just said. This is a really strong indicator that you've gone down a rabbit hole, all right? And you've jumped in way too fast. So if you see this warning sign that you don't approve of your answer and you don't like it, we need to take a step back. We need to slow that train down. Either stop it, check in with the interviewer is an option, or take a step back and go, you know what? That's actually not the best way I do it. Let me start over with this. I think I would do this. And then you better come with a really succinct, concise answer. That's another way. Potentially, you live on for the next problem, answer it and finish that one off, but pay attention to the warning indicator that you have started jumping in too fast. So the next question, maybe cut your losses there and move on to the next question. And then the next question, make sure you're paying attention to, okay, before I answer it, and this is a great tip to do, give me a minute to think about how I would answer that. Now, if it's a quick, if we're having a conversation, that's not as easily doable, but if it's like a coding exercise, you can easily ask for, a couple minutes to, or a minute, 30 seconds to think over how you would attack this. And even then, if you're jumping in too fast, pseudocode is another tactic to make sure you prevent that from happening, because that warning sign of jumping in too fast and feeling like you need to rewrite something and all of a sudden your problem's not good, you are always going to want to refactor, yes. But if you realize you jumped in and this now won't work and you've already gone down the rabbit hole, that's a warning sign. Another indicator is the third warning indicator is you have been doing the coding exercise potentially. You've been talking with the interview, talking, solid conversation, going back and forth. You're doing the interview, and then you just stop talking and you start sweating bullets and you start looking at the problem and you realize you're not talking anymore. That is a strong warning sign that your nerves and confidence, either or, sometimes it's both, because they can go hand in hand in interviews. But your nerves or confidence are showing out, and it is a clear warning sign to not only you as the interviewee, but the interviewer, that we are potentially reaching their limit as an interviewer, and this is potentially where their skill is. And now, with that being said, that doesn't always mean that. By any means, sometimes people just get one problem wrong and kill the next couple of problems. But this is what it will start to feel like. But remember the warning sign. If you stop talking or all of a sudden you start talking really fast, either side, watch out for that indicator that you are about to shoot your confidence or your nerves, or something behind the scenes is bothering you. And maybe you don't know the answer, and that's what's making you talk fast because you're hoping to talk fast. You're talking about, I can't even talk that fast. But potentially this might be bothering you. So that is the third one. The fourth is follow-up questions. I was going to name this one, you jump at what you know, you don't answer what the question is. I was going to name something like that, but really the actual warning sign, the warning indicator in that one, is a bunch of follow-up questions around the original question. Now, sometimes there are the follow-up questions, maybe if you're trying to understand how deep of knowledge you have or how depth is your knowledge node, and we got to keep digging down. Yes. But prime example, I can ask you a question about debugging styles, and before you know it, you're giving me an answer on your testing styles. And what happens there is people, and this is very common actually, is people will start to answer what they know, not what the question was, because their brain takes over and goes, feels comfort and goes, oh, I know what that is. I can answer that. And they go to that, not to the question. So this indicator is then if you've done that, you will start to get a lot of follow-up questions up that are like, you're thinking to yourself, wow, I just answered that. Why do they want that again? Pay attention to that, because if you have, you can backtrack, you can ask the interviewer, you can ask them about your previous answer. You can talk about the question. You can be more succinct and ask what they're looking for. There's a couple things you can do. And also, like we talked about before, cut your ties and move forward. If you didn't answer the right question before, take this opportunity on the question that you're getting now to make sure you answer it right. And what do I have here? Yes, you can also... that's basically it. All right, so the 4 warning indicator signs. You're over talking or under talking, and if we stay within our sentence parameters of anywhere from 2 to 8, or basically 4 to 8 sentences, you're in pretty good graces. If you're under 2 or over 8, we really need to watch out. That is a warning indicator you are over or under talking, unless it's true or false. The second one, remember, if you jump in too fast and you don't maybe do some pseudocode, you don't ask questions, you don't take a minute to review or collect your thoughts, you've gone down a rabbit hole and you see the indicator of this is wrong, I got to redo this. You've jumped in the rabbit hole. Watch out, take the time, take that step back, pseudocode out, and try that. Third indicator, if you stop talking or start talking in the middle of the interview and you notice all of a sudden, like, I'm quiet, or things have gotten socially awkward potentially because you've just cold turkey stopped, it can be a really big indicator that your nerves and your confidence are a little bit shot, and we might be reaching the end of your skills or the extent of your skills, and this is when the true test starts, I guess you'd say. But watch out for those indicators, because it's easy to recorrect, to bring the confidence back, to bring the value back into your answers and to be able to elaborate more. But it takes noticing first. All right, and the fourth one, there, 4, I was trying to do something with the pinky, 4, the fourth and last one, right, as we just talked about, you jump at the answers you know, not what the answer question is. So if you get a lot of follow-up questions, this is the fourth indicator. Overall, between all 4, they're fixable, but the biggest thing and best thing you can do is know the warning signs of those 4 things, because they're very common. They're very, very common for a lot of people. I see it at least a couple times a week, a lot of those indicators on a lot of people. So I encourage you tonight to make sure you know the 4, talk through them, understand them. If you have any questions, my call to action to you tonight is message me on here. Let me know any questions you have. If you have the ability, hit that like button. That'd be a huge help. And share this with anyone you might know. Doing a big Q&A session tomorrow. So if you got time, you want some questions answered, jump on in. I'm going to probably do it around midday. And yeah, that's it for this video. Until next time, signing off.